Nowadays, 90% of the goods that we consume are imported from other countries. It is why the shipping industry is our commercial lifeline, and it plays an important role in the world economy, contributing with $300 billion per year.
The global trading industry follows the logic of capitalism: increase gains in order to reduce costs. It is why measures have been taken in order to lessen the price of shipping. The problem is, some of them are prejudicial for the environment and for the workers of that industry. More or less, 70% of all the shipments are registered under flags of convenience, which are from countries with a poor labor legislation and with low taxes. Therefore, shipowners of vessels sailing under flag of convenience have simply chosen the flag they carry from a large selection on offer. As a consequence, their merchant ship is registered under a nationality different from that of the ship's owner. They give their ship a fake nationality for its own benefit, just because it's a way of reducing the cost and avoiding national regulations of the owner's home country. Their only aim is to increase gains, as they do not care about the labor and trade responsibilities, minimum wage standards, or the environment.
It's interesting to highlight that many of the companies owning ships that carry a flag of convenience are from developed countries such as the US, Japan, Denmark, Sweden, France, among others. Countries that, on the national and international sphere, uphold strict labor standards that provide good working conditions and are concerned about climate change, encouraging the enforcement of strict policies. Shipowners and companies prefer to forget their national legislation and they rather register the vessels to another country. Everything will operate under the law of its flag state with less safety measures, less jurisdiction, and low or non-existent taxes, in order to reduce the cost. All the money that owners economize by using flags of convenience does not contribute to raise seafarers' salaries or to improve the ship's condition. It only benefits the corporations, making the workers poorer and the owner richer.
What is the reality of working as a seafarer nowadays? With 1.6 million workers, seafaring is considered the second most dangerous occupation existent. Seamen usually spend 6 or 9 months sailing the oceans, trapped in a vessel before arriving to one destination. Once there, they will not be allowed to leave the boat because of not having a visa nor the necessary documentation to be in that country. In addition, they suffer of poor on-board conditions, long periods of work without proper rest, leading to stress and fatigue, increasing risk of accidents. They do not have medical care and crave of internet, calls or messages, and in consequence, they are poor communicated with their families. Furthermore, their salary is really low as a consequence of the flags of convenience systems, and abandonments are produced when ship owners come under financial pressure, provoking the non-paying of wages, being the seafarers abandoned in the shore.
Philippines is the major provider of seafarers worldwide. Almost 30% of the seafarers' employees are from this country. But why? The first reason is that Filipino maritime professionals are competitive and attractive, since they are dependable with good communication skills and English language proficiency and hardworking. The second reason is that the government of Philippines encourages its population to work as a seafarer. This is explained because the contributions that seafarers give to the Philippines economy is $7 billion per year. The government has designed an educational structure that counts with more or less 90 maritime schools, in which every year 40,000 students graduate, instead of trying to regulate, protect, and fight for the rights of these workers. They encourage them to be seafarers, the second most dangerous work in the world. They sell their population as cheap labor, just because their contribution is an important part for their economy.
You may be asking yourself, how is it possible that these people accept work in such precarious conditions, and why nobody does anything? This can be easily answered. There's no legislation. Filipino seafarers have no means of protecting themselves against these labor practices and exploitations. Philippine law don't offer protection, and in addition, due to the fact that they are in international waters, Filipino seafarers' place of residence is still their country of origin. The seafarers are global people, but they cannot apply to international laws to protect their rights, because they don't exist. There is no defined policy and laws governing the vessels and the crew sailing on international seas. Some organizations are trying to help and fight for better conditions and for regulation of this sector. The International Transport Workers Federation was created in 1896. a global body union representing and fighting for the rights of millions of transport workers worldwide. Regarding the maritime industry, they seek to eliminate the exploitation suffered by seafarers. They try to improve the working conditions of this sector, and they try to promote a way to find the link between owner and flag, and to target an unfair system which facilitates exploitation by allowing ship owners to pay and treat seafarers as they deem fit. Also, many non-governmental organizations have been also created to help seafarers. We should mention the importance of Stella Maris. It is a worldwide organization that helps these workers in different ways, from taking them to visit the cities where they are sailed, to helping those whose ship has been abandoned in a port.
The Wallerstein model sustains that the world is organized horizontally. Those of the core, also known as the haves, states that nowadays will be US for China, benefit by influencing economical and political aspects of those on the periphery, like Pakistan or Panama, identify as the have-nots. We could easily relate this way of understanding the organization of the world to the shipping industry. Those at the core, pulling the strings for their own system and abusing seafarers' rights, are the ship owners. In the semi-periphery, we can find the nation-states, who have no choice but to follow the global trade organization, but at least can still decide, for example, whether to sell their flags as a flag of convenience in order to obtain more revenues and help develop their economy. Also, they take advantage of their population, as is in the case of the Philippine government, as it benefits its economy from sending their workers to precarious jobs overseas. Those who are affected the most, and therefore those at the periphery, are the workers of the ships. They are the ones that produces what after is enjoyed by those who had exploited them. Most of seafarers, especially Filipino, are willing to accept miserable wages and horrible life conditions in order to escape poverty and violence in their home countries and send money to their families. Look around. Almost everything that you have has probably traveled more than you. It has been all around the world. Thanks to globalization and to the evolution of the shipping industry, this new form of production is possible. However, global trade represents an important part not only in the global economy but also in the local economies, such as the one from Philippines. It has also a lot of negative aspects, such as pollution. The seafarers are the victim of this system. Their labor conditions are horrible. This is demonstrated by the growth of suicides between these workers. Even though they are essential for the consumerist society of nowadays, they are left out and unprotected by the international and the national systems. All the products that you buy have moved all around the world before being in your hands. This is possible thanks to the seafarers, thanks to the hidden heroes of global trade.